Okay, so moving on to number 9. This is exactly the same problem we just did in number 7 and 8. Okay, except this time they're giving you a graph, but they give you 2 terms. So you do have a couple of options here. You could figure out the slope by looking at the graph. Okay, you could go like this and say, well, it goes from 2 to 8, right? So that's 6. And then here, it goes from 3 to 6, which is 3. Okay, so this is 6, this is 3. So my rise over run is going to be 3/6, or 1/2. If I use the formula, I get y minus y, which is 6 minus 3, over x minus x, 8 minus 2, gives me 3 over 6, same thing as here, equals 1/2. And I can see here the y-intercept, but the y-intercept is 2, but I want to do what I just showed you so that you keep practicing this. Okay, so I have have y equals mx plus b. I'm going to choose one of these, and I think I'm going to pick this one because it's smaller numbers. So here's my x and my y. So y is 3, m is 1/2, x is 2, and I'm looking for b. So now I have 3 equals, the 2's cancel, 1 plus b, subtract 1 from both sides, and I get b equals 2, which I already knew because I saw right there. Okay, so y equals mx plus b. All right, this one, we can probably guess what the y-intercept is, but we really don't know for sure because it doesn't quite hit it. Okay, so let's find the slope. This time I'm going to use well, again, you could do this again. Okay, and remember that it's negative, and it's rise, 1, 2, 3, 4, over run, 1, 2. So it's going to be 4 over 2 is going to be my slope, which is 2. But let's use the formula anyway. Let's do y minus y over x minus x. Oops, this should be a negative. Okay, so m equals 4 over negative 2, which equals negative 2. Okay, so now again, I have my slope, now I have to have my y-intercept. Okay, so you've got to have those 2 things. I find my y-intercept by plugging in y, m, and x. And I'm going to pick this one. Doesn't matter, but I'm going to pick this one. So I've got 2 equals negative 2 times 3 plus b. So y equals m times x plus b. So 2 equals negative 6 plus b. If I add 6 to both sides, b is 8. And that actually looks about right because this is 6, this is 7, 8's going to be up here. So that looks about right. So now I've got b, I've got m, y equals mx plus 8. All right, you can see we're doing the same thing over and over. All right, number 11. All right, tell whether the data in the table can be modeled by a linear equation, and if it can, if possible, write a linear equation that represents y as a function of x. So we're just y equals mx plus b. That's what that means. Okay, so remember that it has to have the same difference between every single one. So if I look here, if I'm looking at all of these, I have negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. I have another minus 3, another minus 3, another minus 3, another minus 3, another minus 3. But look at this one. What is this one? This is a minus 4. So already I know that it's not linear. So not linear. And you can also tell it down here because this is plus 3 and this is plus 3 and then all of a sudden I have a plus 2, which makes it not linear. Okay, which probably means that this one is linear because it seems like one's always not and one always is. All right, but let's look. Negative 2 plus 3 gives me 1, plus 3 gives me 4, plus 3 gives me 7, plus 3 gives me 10, and then 13, 16, and 19. So far so good. Okay, down here, I'm subtracting by 2. So 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, negative 2, and negative 4. All right, so this one is linear. All of these are the same. Now we could use 2 points and use the formula to find the slope. Okay, so say I take 7, 4, and take 7, 4, and maybe 10, 2. Okay, and I can use m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, but look carefully. This is the change between each one of these is a positive 3, and the difference between each one of these is a negative 2. And it's y, the change of y over the change of x. So my slope is y, negative 2 over x, or 3. So my slope is negative 2/3. And let's see along here if I do not see a y-intercept. If we had a y-intercept, it would be somewhere in here because it's when x is 0. So I know it's going to be somewhere between 8 and 10. Okay, so y equals mx plus b. Okay, I think I'll pick 10 and 2. This is the x value, this is the y value. So 2 equals m, which is 2/3, times x plus b. So 2 equals 20/3 plus b. We got fractions again. Okay, given the common denominator for 2, we're going to have 6/3 equals 20/3 plus b. Okay, oops, I missed something very important, maybe you noticed. This is supposed to be a negative, so we're going to put a negative in front of all this. Then we're going to add 20/3 to both sides, and I get b equals 26/3. Now let's see if that kind of fits in here. Okay, well 26/3 is the same thing as 3, 8 and 2/3. So does that make sense that 8 and 2/3 would be the y-intercept? It does, because the 0 in x would be about right there. So the answer is, oops, not m. You want y. Y equals m, again, which is negative 2/3 x plus b. And I'm going to keep it as this improper fraction, 26/3. Okay, let's see how we're doing on time. All right, we will move on in the next video.